Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and I just want to give everybody an update on what's going on here. I'm always thinking about my garden and the future, and maybe sometimes too much, but I know many of you have the same obsession, situation. So I know I made a video the other day saying I'm not going to move any more trees. I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, I couldn't stop thinking about those power lines right over my head, or over the tree's head, over where I had my Maria B avocado. So there it is. I was sleeping and I decided a better spot for the Maria avocado that's not over those power lines. So I'll never have an issue with those power lines from that. So right now I got the drain field. I'm taking that jackfruit tree out of the way because it's overcoming with the drain field. And even though I never get jackfruit on there, even if I did, I don't want to create a problem for the drain field. So I'm leaving my raised bed garden over the drain field. I'm going to have to get rid of that jackfruit, which is okay. I'm going to make some more room. I'm going to put here something that's going to grow small or can stay small. I'm thinking a jujube tree. And it's also close to these other trees, and that's another reason why I wanted to take the avocado out. And the only one I have left now, I have this Dupuis avocado, which I hear is amazing. But that's pretty high up. That's even higher up than the other area. So I think that'll be okay. So I'm excited. I went to Laura Farms yesterday in Miami, and I got 5 trees. How could somebody with no room get 5 more trees? Well, that's what this video is about. I wanted to show you what I was doing, but that's the last time I'm moving a tree. That's it. Okay, my Monroe tree is looking good right here. I'm excited about that. I counted. I now have 21 varieties of avocados. So I was talking to Julian at Laura Farms yesterday, and I'm like, he told me about another one, Brooks Late, and he says, oh, it's another kind of a dwarfish avocado. I'm like, maybe I can get that and put that in a pot. And then I looked at him, I said, you think I'm overdoing this? He goes, you only need 3 to cover each season. You don't need 21 varieties unless you have a farm and you're selling it. And I don't plan on selling my fruit. Maybe I'll give some of it away, but I plan on eating it. So I resisted. I went down there with 4 trees in mind, and I came back with, well, I went down there with 5 trees in mind, and I came back with 5, but one was different. So I'm going to tell you what that one was in a moment. But so I moved this morning. It was raining, so it was nice. I moved the Maria block to another location. I'll show you where that is. It's a better location. Now, it is more in the front yard, so there's always a chance somebody could take them in the future, but it's in the back of the front yard. And it's still a better spot. It's not going to crowd out these because I don't want these to be crowded out in the future. So I got my white sapote back there. It has a lot of nice room. I have my Lena right here, which is looking really nice. That has a lot of nice room. I have a nice banana back there. And here, I got all this room here for the for the Monroe tree to grow really nice. Got all that room here. And this is my Winter Mexican. It was supposed to be my Brogdon, but it was mislabeled. So now, I don't want to say I'm stuck with the Winter Mexican because I like what I tasted so far, but I didn't really taste many so far. So I'm going to give it a chance. If I ever wanted to top work it, that would be the candidate to top work. But right now, it's definitely got a lot of fruit on it to see if it's going to be ripe even and so on. We'll figure that one out. Now, here I have my Soursop tree. This is the one I got from Home Depot years ago, and it's as Julian says, I hit the Soursop lottery because it was a seedling, but it sure turned out nice. I had 3 grafted Soursops and 1 seedling, and the seedling was the best one. The 3 grafted ones, after 3 years, I took all 3 of them out. They weren't getting anything. So this one is really beautiful. There's still some on here. It's really nice. And this was a spot where one of those other grafted Soursops was, and now I have a Catalina that is looking really nice, and it's a nice space for the Catalina. I have another banana there that's growing really nice. And I ended up buying a seedling for a Soursop that I tried to see what will happen this time. Maybe I'll get lucky again like I did with or blessed like I did with the one at Home Depot. So I bought another one. I bought a bunch actually, and this is one that I kept in the ground, and it's getting tall. We'll see how it does. It's growing pretty fast. Here is I moved this one several times, not moving again. but this was one time was all apple bananas. And as you can see, I only have one apple banana stalk left, and then I'm not going to have bananas in this area. But this is a Boca Champa that my friend Barbie gave me. And it almost died because I moved it so much, but it's coming back really nice. It's looking good. It's a little tight spot here because I have this amazing tree here. This is my black gold jackfruit, and it is looking great this year. I already have some that are growing on into fruit, some female fruit on there. So that's looking really well. So once this apple banana stalk is gone, that's all for the bananas here. And everything's getting cleaned up. It's really nice. So that's this whole wall here. So I'm really satisfied because on the whole wall I got a white sapote, which I absolutely love, and a Lena, which I never grew, but I liked it. And then I have a Monroe avocado, winter Mexican, a Soursop, a Catalina avocado, banana, Soursop, and a black gold. And they're all about 10 feet apart. So that I'm really satisfied with. Here, I'm going to put the one I dug up. I'm going to put here a jujube tree, which you can keep small. So I'm satisfied with that. Now, on my back wall here, I took out pretty much most of my bananas. There's one stalk left, and the only reason I didn't take it down was there's bananas on there, but I didn't really like that banana. But I have a lemon Bangkok or a Bangkok lemon jackfruit tree that's going to grow really nice in this space. And in this space, I have the Dupuy avocado that'll grow nice here. And man, you see, I think about this way too much, right? I'm going around the edges, and then I'll fill in the middle, and I'll show you what I got here. So this is a Miami Soursop. I didn't get this from Laura Farms yesterday when I went, but I got this when I went previously, and it's growing really nice. And this is supposed to be a really great tasting, self-pollinating Miami Soursop. As a matter of fact, he had a whole bunch of these that he grafted for sale. If you don't know who he is, I'm going to put his link below, Laura Farms. This is a Soursop you want. So check that out. And then over here, coming around the round robin of my main yard, I have this. This is a Simmons Avocado. I'm excited about the Simmons Avocado. Now, it might be a little close to this. This is another black gold. We'll see how it is. This is a black gold avocado here. So that might be a little close. We'll see. Then in the corner here, I ended up sticking a Fairchild Canasteel. I don't love Canasteel, but I hear it's great in milkshakes. And actually this one, this one's the Aurora, actually. The Aurora, which I hear is much better than the Trumpone, which I didn't necessarily like. So we'll see how that one does. I moved my apple bananas to this back corner. We'll see how that does there. And then here, I have raw sapote. So I saw some yesterday at Laura Farms, but they weren't ripe. But at least I got to hold one. That's my neighbor's tree. My neighbor has a Trumpo Canasteel egg fruit tree. Really nice. It was once coming over my yard, and he wanted to cut it back, and I don't like those, so I'm fine with that. And here I have an orange sherbet tree. So now very close to the orange sherbet tree is a persimmon. It's not necessarily on the outskirts of the yard, but we'll see how it does here. It's the winter time, so it's not looking great, but it's a decent enough spot. Now, I did stick a banana between the orange sherbet and this other tree here. I might eventually have to move it, but we'll see how it is. And here is a mamey tree that's doing really well. And I stuck some other trees. Look how amazing this tree is doing. That is fruiting amazing. Now, this tree grows pretty big. I did stick a banana here and a papaya behind me, just temporarily. We'll see how it goes. But without this banana and this papaya behind me, in fact, there's a lot of room for this mamey to grow. And I also have a papaya up there. That's a really nice papaya. It still gives it a good room from the mamey tree. There's some I'm going to get harvest right now up there. And then here I have a Cac Mango tree. This is one of my first mango trees that I had. And every year it's been well. I had some problems with a bacterial black spot. One year I lost about half the fruit. But for the most part, last year it was just wonderful. And coming around here, I have another banana tree. I'm waiting to see what banana this is because I forgot which one I planted. in this area, but eventually I might move it. It's kind of getting in the way. And then coming through here, let me go around here because it's getting a little tight over there in that spot. So here now I have a Cac Mango. This is a Cac Mango, and I had a banana tree here that was always crowding this out, and I just took it out. It's one more stalk left. I might take that out soon, but this is going to give this banana tree a lot of room to grow. I mean, this Cac Mango tree, a lot of room to grow. And then over here, I have a red sugar apple. So, and that was tricky because my gas meter's there, and I didn't want to plant anything that rooted deep, too close to the gas meter wires. So I figured a sugar apple, the roots aren't too big. So over here, I cut my coconut tree down because it was way too tall, and I have a sugar apple in the ground there that's going to grow nice. I have a lot of gardening stuff around it right now, but it will give it a nice spot. And here's another dilemma I'm eventually going to have. I have a sweet tart mango that's looking great. I have a pineapple pleasure, and I have a lemon zest, and they're all too close. So eventually I'm going to have to keep the pineapple pleasure and get rid of one of these two, or get rid of two of them, or get rid of the pineapple pleasure and keep those. I'll make that decision when it comes. But that is the outskirts of my yard here, my main yard. Then on the inside of the yard, I have here, this is a Chennai jackfruit. That's got a lot of space. It's growing really nice. It's close to the Cac Mango, but it's doing really nice. And here I have Butterscotch Sapodilla, which is doing really nice. This one fruited last year for the first time, and this one has fruit on it this year for the first time, so I'm looking forward to that. Over here I have a steppe mango. So I don't know if this is going to be crowded out or not eventually, but right now it's a decent space depending how big it gets. And on this side I have a cherry mango. On this tree it wasn't much wider and I cut it in a little, but I keep trimming the top. It's been great every year, so we'll see how that goes. And I have some grafts on this tree now. I think I have a somewhere over here. I have right here. I put a graft on of a pineapple pleasure, so we'll see how that goes. So here's my Soursop avocado. Now 2 years ago this was flourishing, this tree, and it got a lot of avocados. It was getting really tall. I cut it, and this year no avocados, but it's looking nice. But I did put a graft on here from Monroe just to experiment. It was my first avocado graft I took, so I have a Monroe graft on there. And then coming through here I have a lemon meringue tree, a nice lemon meringue tree. I cut it back last year really nice, so I have more room to walk around. I had a Soursop Cherry tree here that I took out, and I moved bananas from one area to the other. And there's another lemon meringue tree right there. And then over here's M4 mango. So I left this mango in my yard when I was moving them around. This is a pumpkin mamey. So it's supposed to be a dwarf mamey. I got 2 of those in this yard. And this is a Dunkin Mango. I have actually I put a sugarloaf graft on here that took. So I'm really excited about the sugarloaf graft too. So that's looking nice. That's a Dunkin Mango. And I have a sugar apple here. It's not looking that great, but we'll see how it does. It's a little tricky with the drain field here. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get into the drain field with anything. Like this jackfruit tree, when we started, I told you, it was supposed to be a grafted tree, but it wasn't. It was a seedling. But it never did anything. And I'm about to cut it down just because it's going over the drain field. And I don't want to have any problems with the roots creating issues in the future. And that'll also kind of open up a space here as well for me to experiment or plant something small. We'll see how that goes. And here is my other pumpkin mamey that is flourishing. It's doing really well. There's actually there was some fruit on here, 1 or 2 fruits. So that's really exciting, and that's supposed to be a dwarf tree, so that'll grow nice here. And I have another banana there. Let's see what that one is. And here I have Chestnut Tree right here. And around all my trees I have like seeds growing because I throw my food scraps under the trees and it's growing into seeds. But that's the exterior and the interior of the backyard. Now I'm gonna also start experimenting with some growing in some pots. So I have some things that I'm growing in pots now. This was an extra tree that I ended up getting that we'll see what happens, but this was a Nishikawa avocado. I actually have this one. I'm gonna, I guess, keep in a pot for a little while and see, maybe I'll sell it in the future. But that's a Nishikawa. This one, I was looking for some dwarf varieties to do in pots, and I didn't even hear of this avocado until Mike at Trees and More told me about it. It's called Avocado Yugato. It's supposed to be from Puerto Rico, I believe. And he says it's a dwarf, so I'm going to leave it in the pot here. I also got a Warts avocado that I put in a pot somewhere else. And so now I also have in a pot here, I have a lemon tree. Now I had a papaya tree here previously, but none of the papayas were to my standards, so I got rid of it and opened up this whole space. And then I got some soursop seedlings that I've had for a while that I'm going to keep and maybe try to experiment with those at a later time. I also got, last season I did a graft on a bunch of mangoes, just experimenting, and these two looked okay. This one might work. This is a little gem, and I'm starting to see it. So this one might have took out of all the ones I did, and there's still a bunch here more. And then I got a bunch of fig trees that I'm going to leave in pots. These were fig tree cuttings. It was the first time I tried to experiment with fig tree cuttings. So they worked, actually, every single one of them. I think all but 3 of them. I got a lot of cuttings on the fig trees. I didn't show you on my garden in the back there. I had a lot of fig trees in pots as well that I got these cuttings from. So I'm going to leave the figs in pots. And then this one I got for a friend. This is a Warts avocado, so this isn't staying here. I'll be giving it to him. Well, that's the backyard. Let's go look at the front yard and see what's happening here. There's 2 sides to the front yard. So this side here, I have this persimmon tree, which is looking so-so, but in the winter the leaves fall off, so it doesn't usually look great anyway. And I'm really excited about how the front yard is looking. This was a Kent tree that I'm using as my experimental tree, and I'm doing a bunch of grafts on there. So I have a Fairchild graft that took a while ago, and it's growing really nice. I have 3 Angie grafts on this tree that are growing great. And then I also have an orange sherbet. This graft was in for like 6 months before it finally took. So there it is. This is the orange sherbet. So I got like 4 or 5 different mangoes on this tree, just checking it out. I put a small banana here that I got from Home Depot just to see how it'll taste. This is a peanut butter tree. So I don't know how big it's going to grow. I've tasted it before, not from this tree. And see, that's going to be fun, interesting for people. So this is my Jackfruit avocado. And I took a banana that I had here out and made more room. So this will grow nice. And people love this one. Here I have my Katuk, which is an edible green. It's not really a tree, but I love it. I eat it often. And this is there's 2 major trees in this side of the front yard, and this is one. This is a mame. And look in there. You could see it's loaded with fruit and loaded. So I'm going to get my first fruit on that tree this year, hopefully. So that's looking really nice. Look at this. Just loaded. I was sad to see a fruit on the floor the other day, but that's my mame tree. So this one is a Neelam tree. So hopefully that won't grow too tall. This is a Neelam mango tree. And I had a tree here that I took out. I had a mango tree here that I moved because it opened up this whole space. This was my other major tree here. This is a white sapote. It's a different variety from the other one I have. So I'm excited about that. And I have 2 banana trees behind it. They're not interfering with it. And here's a Grumachama cherries. So that's a hedge of Grumachama cherries. And I'm going to take this banana out actually today, I believe. I know I said I'm not moving anything, but I didn't say I was going to take out. This banana is just kind of getting in the way of this. My Butterscotch Sapodilla. Looking really nice. I'm really excited about that. Looking really nice. I have in some pots here some red Jabacaba in pots here. And here's the Fairchild Canasteel right here. That's the Fairchild Canasteel. All right, so that's one side of my front yard. I'm trying to use the most of my space. I also have in the front of the front yard baby coconut tree and also a chestnut tree. I forgot the name of it, but it's supposed to taste like a chestnut. And behind that is my neighbor's yard. He has a big longing tree there, and he has a bunch of stuff as well. So now on this side, I have here another Sapodilla, Alano Sapodilla. So Alano Sapodilla is right here, it's looking well. This is a Patuma. This is a Patuma, which is outside. It's a little yellow fruit. It's really nice. And then I have a couple of bananas in the front. So I'm going to do the front here. I guess we'll go around. This was a coconut tree that I took out. It was getting way too tall, way too tall. But I'm growing dragon fruit on the tree. So I'm growing dragon fruit up the tree for now. We'll see how that goes. This is my Jabacaba. One of them is in the front. Is a black Jabacaba. And I guess I'll do the outer of this one yard, and then we'll go do the front. So there's another coconut tree that I took out. It was shading everything, and it was the coconuts. Even if I got them down, it would fall on everything else, so I had to get rid of it. So I have another red Jabacaba here, and over here I have a lemon meringue seedling. Let's see what happens with that. So this banana is kind of getting in the way. I might remove this. But that's a banana I have here. Here I have Camito, and I just had one yesterday at Laura Farms that tasted so good. And anyway, Camito is a wonderful fruit. This one actually is starting to get fruit on it for the first time. So this is in the front, right in the front of my yard. This is a green Camito. Really nice. And this one here is a Mulberry. And I actually saw my first mulberry coming out. There's some mulberries coming out now, so that's really cool. That's on the front of the yard. I have another black Jabacaba here. Now I'm kind of on my neighbor's yard. He's letting me use his yard. So I put a cherry tree in front of his yard. This is a Acerola Cherry. And then I put a jackfruit seedling here as well, right in his front yard. You can see that. Whoop. Jackfruit seedling there. Now I'm experimenting. I put a peach tree here. I haven't gotten anything with peaches yet. This is my neighbor's property, so I figured I'd experiment, put a peach tree there. I have a banana here. This is another coconut tree that I got rid of. It was just way too tall. And instead I have some dragon fruit going up it. And here I have, this is wonderful. This is a jujube tree. I'm actually going to get another one in the back there because it doesn't take up that much space. It's loaded. And I just really like the taste of that. And over here I have my ackee tree that I'm growing. I have a much bigger ackee tree fruiting at another house. But this ackee tree is looking good there. Now in the back, I'm not going to go back there. This is my neighbor's yard. He lets me use his yard. Besides the garden, I put in some bananas, a soursop, some jackfruit seedlings, and a sunrise mango. So yeah. So I'm a little hesitant. I'm planting too much stuff there since it's not my property. But I plant some stuff there. There's a moringa tree, and I'm in the process of moving meringue over to my area because I eat it like every day and I love it. Here's another Cac tree, and this is the other side of my black gold jackfruit tree. And here's a Sapodilla, and it's loaded right now with fruit. This is a Molex. I think it's a Molex Sapodilla. Very nice. Here is one of the ones I'm really excited about. This is a Ronnie avocado. Oh, I had trouble finding a good space for this one, but it's right on the borderline of my neighbor's yard and mine, and it's a summer avocado. And you definitely want to get this avocado. I spoke to Laura yesterday, Laura Farms yesterday, Julian. This is the avocado you want to get. So I'm I moved this several times. I'm okay with this spot. It's going to be nice. So I'm going to look at more of the interior of my yard now. I have a Monster roaster in the ground over there behind this tree. This is probably the widest tree I have in my yard. This is a Oro Negro avocado. And this year, for a big tree, it was the first year I got fruit. I got 7 avocados. 7's not a lot. I'm expecting over 100, but it was delicious. Best avocado I've ever tasted so far. Really good. So we'll see what happens with that tree next year. I just topped it a little, but it's really nice. Look at this. This tree's loaded. Look at all of this miracle fruit. Absolutely loaded. Here I have a day avocado. And besides the persimmon over there, oh, I didn't even mention I have the persimmon there too. I have a persimmon that's on the border of my yard and my neighbor's yard, another Florida persimmon. But besides that, I have enough room here. I have a good amount of room for the day avocado because eventually the miracle fruit can get shaded out and maybe be under it. And it's not too close to the other avocado. Once I move that banana, I got a good amount of room here. Now this tree is humongous, but I cut it back every year. This is a starfruit tree, and it is loaded. I mean, when I say loaded, every year it's loaded with starfruit, and this year is no different. But after I pick all these starfruits, I'm gonna cut this like really short, and I don't think it's ever gonna get in the way of my other trees because I'm gonna keep that short, and that's a tree that you can keep short. Then over here, in the middle here, I have this tree here that's fruiting now. Wonderful. This is a Cogswall Mango. These are all dwarf mangoes in my front yard. That's Cogswall. This is a Pickering Mango, another dwarf mango. And this one it's a Thunder Mango. Well, I forget the actual name, but the nickname is Thunder Mango because every time you eat it, it has a crunch like thunder. But that's a dwarf one, and it's right here as well. Let me see if the name tag's on there. And these are really small, and I'm planning on keeping them relatively small. So this one's called a Falan. It's a Falan mango. I have these tags on there with these little wires, and the tree grew around the wires, so I got to get better. But that's Falan, also known as Thunder. And this one I had a pot for a while, but I finally got it into the ground here. And this is the red Jabocaba. Red Jabocaba. There's actually some fruit on there now. And speaking of Jabocaba, this is a big black one. So this hopefully will fruit in a couple of years. That's a big black one. I have a small miracle fruit down there behind it. And again, if I ever have to remove something, oh well, let it be. But for now, it's good. And then I have 2 more miracle fruit. I have this miracle fruit bush here, and then I have a big miracle bush there. And these are just going crazy now with so many fruits. So that is the front yard here of what's growing on at the moment. And I'm set. Besides taking a couple of bananas out, I really think I'm maxed out on space. And we'll see how everything grows. And in the future, if I have to take stuff out, I will. All right, everybody. If you have any comments, put them below, and I'll do another video in my other yard and show you what's growing on there.